So let's talk LinkedIn hashtags. There'll be other videos in the future which cover off hashtags on other sites because volumes of hashtags do vary. But let's start with LinkedIn today. You want to be using between 3 and 5. 3 is a sweet spot, up to 5 is okay. Beyond that starts to look a bit spammy, and even LinkedIn have said keep it to 5 and below. And certainly for search purposes, your first 3 hashtags are the 3 most important ones that you need to think about. So where do you find these hashtags? What are the best hashtags to use? 3 main ways that you can find the hashtags that you need. First one is go and have a look at what your competitors are posting. What hashtags are they using? Which ones make sense? Which ones don't? Nick the good ones, ignore the rest. Secondly, when you type a post into LinkedIn, it will often make suggestions as to the right hashtags to put with it. They can be a little bit off the wall sometimes, but sometimes there's some good suggestions. And also when you start typing in hashtag and then the start of a word, so hashtag business, for example, it will then come up with suggestions of other popular hashtags that you might want to use within your post. Failing that, you can also go to third-party websites. I'll put a list on a slide at the end where you can type in a hashtag, say hashtag business, hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag small business, and it will come back with how popular that hashtag is and other suggestions of other hashtags that may be relevant that you can use within your posts. So it's well worth doing some research and having little lists of the kinds of posts and the kinds of hashtags you would match with different kinds of posts that you're going to be putting out. So popularity of hashtags is quite important as well. Your gut reaction might be, if you're putting up something and your target audience is a small business owner, for you to add the hashtag small business. And there's a value to it, absolutely, but just think about how many people use that hashtag. If you type it into the search bar on LinkedIn, it'll tell you how many people are actually following that hashtag within their feed, and that will give you a good indication of how popular it is. So if you're just aiming at really big popular hashtags, the chances of little old used post showing up in someone else's feed via that hashtag is fairly small. It's not to say you shouldn't use popular ones, but you need to mix it up with a few that are a little bit more niche and have a smaller following, because you're more likely to get your post then in front of more people. So, did you know there's different types of hashtag you should be thinking about putting in your post? I make 6. How many types did you think there was? So let's have a quick rundown of the ones that you might want to include. Number 1, geography. Are you a local business? Do you serve Telford, Shrewsbury, Shropshire, West Midlands, UK, Europe, the world? Wherever you're selling your products, geography is important. So if you are selling locally, then you might well include your local town as a hashtag, or your local county as a hashtag, or your local region as a hashtag. Very important for businesses that have a small geographical base. 2, industry-specific hashtags. But think about the industries you're trying to talk to and think about the hashtags that they would use. So if you're trying to connect with small business owners, then you want hashtag business owner, hashtag business life, hashtag business owner life. Those kinds of things, because it's the hashtags that your audience would be searching by that you need to be tapping into. What platform specific hashtags do you need to be aware of? Do a Google search. What hashtags are hot on LinkedIn right now? It'll tell you. Again, bear in mind that those will be very well populated hashtags, so chances of you getting visibility within it is quite small, but it's worth including the odd one here or there and seeing if you get lucky and you get your post in front of a brand new audience of your target audience. Number 4, funny ones. Guess what? Even on LinkedIn, you're allowed to have a sense of humour. So if you put up something funny on a Friday, hashtag it Friday Funny. If you're going to do something cool with your team over the weekend as a team building thing, add hashtag weekend vibes. If you're putting up something funny that's happened in the office or with a client, hashtag just for fun. It's okay to show a little bit of humour and personality, especially in these difficult times. It's a really nice way for people to feel like they can really get to know you and connect with you as a human being beyond the brand. Number 5, post-specific hashtags. By that I mean, if you normally make window frames, for example, you're going to be putting out hashtags that are relevant to your audience, so business owners, small business, that kind of thing. If you then do a massive sponsored run, running the equivalent of running on Mount Everest, for example, or something, then you would want to be putting in something about CSR, corporate social responsibility, sponsorship. support local. Different hashtags that wouldn't come into your normal business posts, but actually are relevant to that specific one that you're putting out. And finally, number 6, what's relevant to you and your brand? So best example I can come up with off the top of my head would be, say your name is Mark Nutty. You could create your own hashtag that says Nutty Knows, Nutty Knowledge, where every time you're sharing a little bit of industry knowledge and expertise, you could use that hashtag, and it basically sort of helps to position you as an expert. And then also, if somebody then clicks on that hashtag, they would then see all of the posts where you're sharing information, expertise, which again should accelerate you positioning yourself as an expert in your field. And that's a wrap for now on LinkedIn hashtags. If I've missed anything to do with LinkedIn hashtags that you want more clarity on, just drop me a comment below. I'm more than happy to talk about it a little bit more. Hopefully that's given you some food for thought and to start thinking a little bit more constructively about how you use hashtags on LinkedIn. Until next time, bye-bye.